What's up YouTube, I'm Mike. Today I'm back with a follow-up video to the video that I shot and actually succeeded in getting posted yesterday. Let's see if we get lucky twice. Today we're talking about Trenbolone acetate again because today is day 2 of my bi-daily Trenbolone acetate injection experiment. It is going phenomenally well again, just like I experienced with the mint acetate. I continue to be confused about this entire topic. I understand, I guess, like, I will grant you guys that apparently I seem to be uniquely, acutely sensitive to drug come down effects. One of the things that is interesting to note, I think I said this on Discord, I don't think I mentioned this in my previous video, it seems to only affect me on drugs that have some type of upper or enhancement kind of effect. So, obviously, any kind of drug that speeds you up. I'm trying to be careful with the filter here. And Trenbolone is definitively a drug that is very psychoactive, at least in me. I feel like it's pretty much psychoactive in every single person who uses it, although admittedly some people don't seem to feel it as much. I'm rapidly beginning to believe that this could have a lot to do with sleep. I have been for the past year trying to understand why it is that I can take 100 milligrams of Tren A per week and feel it very acutely, and the guy next to me is taking 500 and he's like, I don't know, dude, I don't get the effect that you get. The only time I don't feel the Tren at all, and this has happened recently, is if I don't get a good night's rest. If I don't get a good night's rest, if I don't get a absolute minimum of 7.5 hours of sleep, I basically cannot feel the Tren the next day. I feel little to no effects from it. Maybe some of the irritation, but certainly none of the upbeat, speedy, peppy, energetic, driven. Like, I don't get any of that effect when I'm really, really tired. I don't know, now that I'm back in the working world and I'm finding out the absolute misery that some people have to live in. I mean, if you're getting up at 6:30 in the morning, getting ready, going to work, working a full day, coming home, barely getting 6 to 7 hours of sleep at night, it's no wonder you don't feel your Tren. I don't think I would feel it either. When I get good and rested, I absolutely feel it acutely. Again, this is on uppers. So I'm now taking Tren Ace twice a day. I'm pinning it at about 8 o'clock in the morning and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I did that again today. At about 3:20, I was already craving my shot. I don't really want to say craving. It wasn't a craving. It was an awareness that I needed it. By about 3:20 this afternoon, I started feeling the effects of the lack of something. I don't know what it is. I mean, the drug, I think, peaks in 3 hours. So I don't know what is happening around the 8-hour mark. But around the 8-hour mark, I start feeling a little bit, like I said yesterday, a little cracked out, like a little dazed, not sharp anymore, not upbeat, not driven, not anything that you're hearing right now. And so I waited. I was good. I waited till 4 o'clock, pinned another 8 milligrams of Tren Ace, and within 20 to 30 minutes, I was motivated to make this video. I was not motivated to make the video when I pinned the drug. I was not motivated to do anything when I pinned the second dose. So for some reason, this is working again in me with an acetate ester in the same way that it worked with the mint acetate. It does not seem to be a problem with downers. So, like, I take Xanax every single day. Xanax has a relatively short half-life. Most people who use Xanax therapeutically take it 2 to 3 times per day to get its therapeutic effect. I take 1/2 milligram pill per night, and I'm totally good. I don't ever crave it during the day. But that being said, I don't like its effects. I only take it to take the edge off. I only take it to get rid of anxiety. And I really don't want some of the anxiety type effects muted during the day, because what I attribute to anxiety is basically overdriven sympathetic drive. So I want the sympathetic drive keeping me sort of upbeat and agitated and on the move and go, 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 go. That is very productive for me in the sales world. It's not until the evenings that I kind of want to calm down, chill out, and have some of that sympathetic drive muted. So it could just be that I sleep through the come down of the Xanax. I don't really know. There was a period in my life where I took it multiple times a day. That's a whole other video. So I just wanted to report back that the Tren Ace in general is going fantastically. I definitely 100% believe that Tren Ace is substantially more powerful than Tren E. I am hitting PRs in the gym on this less than I'm pinning 100. So let's see. I up my dose to 8 milligrams per day. So that is 8 milligrams per shot twice a day, 16 milligrams times 7. I'm on 112 milligrams of Tren Ace, and I hit a PR incline press. Don't laugh, I'm not strong, I know this, I don't care. My new PR incline press was 265 times 4 night before last. I also PR'd on dumbbell flies. I got 60-pound dumbbells on incline fly for 7, I think. 6 or 7, I can't remember. I think it was 6, actually. 60-pound, did I only get 5? I don't know. I've never been over 50s or 55s. So we're just going to call it a minimum of 4. I got 60-pound dumbbells for a minimum of 4, I think it was 5. 265 on incline barbell press for 4. And then I hit 240, I think, on the fly machine. Although I'm not really counting that because fly machines are different. The weight doesn't seem to be consistent on machines. But it's certainly the most I've ever lifted on this particular machine. So what the fuck? I guess my wife is sizzling something in the kitchen again. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Like, one of the things that always notifies me that the Tren is working is any kind of sound makes me absolutely fucking mental on Tren. I cannot stand any kind of rattling, constant noises. The kids were running around a little bit earlier, chasing each other back and forth while I was trying to work. That was getting under my skin. For some reason, noises drive me completely mental on Tren. It definitely heightens my sense of smell, which it doesn't tend to bother me unless it's somebody stinking a body odor in the gym, and then I go from 0 to homicidal almost instantaneously. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to report that for me, taking Tren twice a day just creates a substantially better mood throughout the day. I feel substantially better. The thing that I cannot understand in the bodybuilding community is why there's so much hypocrisy when it comes to this topic. Basically, every single person I come into contact with when I'm talking about pinning an acetate ester twice a day is just full-blown rejecting the idea. But this same exact person will be, well, you know, Mike, if you pin an E-ester every day, then you might not need a Arimidex, or you'll have much flatter blood concentrations and a lot fewer side effects from, for example, Test E. So it's like the same person who will tell me to pin Test E every single day is like, oh no, I only take acetate esters every other day. That's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. To me, pinning an E-ester every day is absolutely asinine. There's absolutely zero good reason to do that. I've already talked about this at length. The E-ester is extremely stable for 3 days after pinning it. It's almost completely flat. If you look at an enanthate half-life chart, you will see that the drug peaks at 24-hour mark and stays within 5 milligrams of that dose for about 3 days before it starts to drop off. So pinning an E-ester every 3.5 days will keep you extremely, extremely flat. There's absolutely no reason to pin it every single day, and yet there's an entire army of people who are doing that. But for some reason, the people who are arguing for pinning E every day want nothing to do with pinning Tren Ace twice a day. The reality is, those of you who think pinning an E-ester every day, if you're taking Tren Ace, you should probably be pinning it 7 times a day. You should probably be pinning it 4 or 5 times minimum. For your worldview to match up that an ester that has like an 8-day half-life should be pinned every day, but an ester that has a day to day and a half half-life should be pinned ED or EOD? That makes absolutely no sense. Let's just take for comparison's sake, let's assume that the half-life of Tren Ace is 24 hours and the half-life of Tren E is 8 days. If you're going to pin Tren E every single day, then you should be pinning Tren Ace 7 times a day. That would be an equivalent, close to an equivalent amount of serum concentration in your bloodstream. Obviously, no one's doing this. So every time I tell you I think it's stupid to pin an E ester every single day, just imagine pinning Tren Ace 7 times a day. Just think about how stupid and unreasonable that sounds. That's the way you sound to me when you tell me, hey Mike, you should be pinning that E ester every single day so that you get less aromatase expression. Well, number one, bullshit. I don't believe for fucking 10 seconds that's true. Absolutely do not think that there is any evidence at all to back that up. I would love to see that clinical data. I would love to see it. I think you're going to have a nearly impossible time finding clinical data where an E ester was pinned every single day, because the whole point of making an E ester is so that you don't have to pin it every day. That was the whole point of making it. So you guys take a drug that is specifically designed to be long-acting and then pin it every single day? I don't even understand the logic there. Why don't you just pin prop every day? I can't understand it. So this is the thing that's so interesting to me. The people who are totally polarized against pinning an acetate twice a day or pinning E's every day. Make it make sense. I can't understand. But regardless of all that, the effects have been profound. I'm absolutely loving the A ester thus far. It does require in me twice a day pinning, but I definitely think that it is substantially stronger acting in the body than Tren E. I was stable on Tren E at 120 milligrams per week, and I'm feeling the acetate substantially more at 115. My strength is up. My abs are getting tighter. But again, I don't want to make too many claims on the aesthetic that I'm getting from the Tren Ace, because there's a lot of flux going on right now in my cycle. I am now down. Last night I pinned was test day, and I pinned 100 milligrams. So I'm down. I'm about to be, for the first time in like a year or more, back to TRT only dosage of testosterone. The other thing that I have definitively decided to do is I'm also going to drop my Masteron back to 300 milligrams at a maximum. I think the Masteron is interacting with my prolactin. I think it's causing problems. So I'm going to do some tests to find out. So what my cycle is going to be looking like for the next couple of weeks, probably, I may pause at 200 milligrams of test before I jump headlong into the estrogen injections. So what I'm probably going to be sitting at is 200 milligrams of test, 200 milligrams of Deca, 200 or 300 milligrams of Masteron, 100 and whatever I said, 112 milligrams of Tren Ace per week. That's about where we're probably going to be at while I continue to tinker with dialing in my D game. I am very disappointed to report Cialis was not the answer. Cialis did not solve the problem. The Cialis worked for about 3 days, and then I started having E2 problems again because my doses is falling. And so I don't know if I went low. I thought I was going low, so I skipped like 2 days of 8X. Then my gyno came back. So my E2's all over the fucking place again, and the D game is in shambles. It works a little bit. It works. But again, I can't. I've had so many problems that I can't rule out a psychological component at this point, which is why right now what I'm basically trying to do is put my cycle back to as close as or identical to where it was at when everything was functioning normally. So where I was at when I was normally functioning was 500 milligrams of Test C, 200 milligrams of Masteron, 200 milligrams of Deca, and 100 milligrams of Tren. That's where I was at when everything was functioning normally. Because I'm not afraid of crashing my estrogen, I'm going to be at 200 milligrams of test, 200 milligrams of Masteron, 200 milligrams of Deca, 115 milligrams of Tren. So we're going to finally be back to what I consider to be cruise dosage, which is 2, 4, 6, 712 milligrams total. That's where we're going to set it for a little while, possibly. I'm not making any promises. Depending on what happens to my E2 at these doses, I may pull the test completely out and start administering estradiol valerate. I haven't decided yet. I should be able to stabilize on 200 milligrams of test and 1.5 milligrams of ADEX. That is usually what I require at 200 milligrams of test. That being said, that usually does not include 200 milligrams of Deca. So I might require slightly more test, ADEX with the Deca in the mix, but I kind of don't think so, honestly. We'll just see how it goes. I don't think 200 milligrams of Deca is enough to really offset the balance that sufficiently. So I may target an 8x dose of 2 milligrams per week at these doses. The Tren is going to stay where it's at or possibly increase. If I take the Deca, if I take the test out of the system, then we're going to have to try to figure out whether to go up on the Deca and on the test, or the Tren, or what to do to offset the missing compounds. It's possible that I'm just going to take a break. My body, I think, needs it. And despite the fact that I'm pulling my total androgen load down really rapidly, I'm not losing body weight. So I'm still sitting at 212 pounds in the evening, and yet my abs are getting tighter and tighter. So I don't know what to tell you about that. The only other thing I have to report is the worst, most horrible, unbearable side effect of Tren Ace, hands down, is none of the things that people commonly talk about. I'm experiencing no night sweats, no uncontrollable rage and anger, no problems with my wife or family, no problem being emotionally available to my children, no problems at work. The Tren Ace at this dose is causing me zero psychological problems, other than I do have the occasional moment where I just kind of go, I just want to go insane. But that is just Tren, and I've learned to cope with it. So it's not that it doesn't ever fuck with me. It definitely does. It's just really minor by comparison. The thing that is absolutely devastating my life right now is blood sugar crashes. I cannot control my blood sugar on Tren Ace. This is the worst I have ever experienced it. It has been the causal factor in my broke D game on more than one occasion. On more than one occasion, I've had to quit the game in the middle of adult activity. I have run into the bathroom, immediately check my blood sugar, and I will have blood sugar readings generally in the 50s when the D game completely breaks. Anything below 70 and I'm totally non-functional. Anything below anything like 70, if it's like 75, I don't feel good. I really never, ever want my blood sugar to be below 90. Anything below 90, and I just don't feel good. I much prefer it to be higher. So right now I'm struggling to figure this out. It's happening predominantly at night, and it could be caused by the fact that I'm eating too many simple sugars at night. But the problem is that I can't, there's no amount of sugar that seems to rectify the issue. So the other night, I crashed my blood sugar to 58. I ate an entire package of Starburst, which is 250 calories and about 50 grams of carbs, and then I literally took 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar and mixed it in like 6 ounces of water and pounded that for another 24 grams of carbs. So I had a total of 75 grams of carbohydrates in the form of pure sugar, and my blood glucose level went from 50 something, 53, 58 to 105. That's as high as it got. 75 grams of pure sugar, and I went from, call it 58 to 105. It never went any higher than that. So if I was to try to start adult activity at a blood sugar of 105, 100% chance if it goes on more than 5 to 20 minutes, total act, I'm going to be back in the toilet, and everything is going to fall apart again. So it has been basically it's unsustainable. I'm now up to 2.4 IUs of growth, trying to get the supposed, growth is supposed to cause you to have high blood sugar. I'm taking 25 milligrams of MK677 every night. So I've got all of these things in the mix that are supposed to cause you to be basically diabetic. And I am having catastrophic blood sugar crashes, and it seems that no amount of simple sugar I eat rectifies the problem. So Kavalser on my Discord said that I might need to go get a scan and make sure that I don't have some type of growth on, I think, my pancreas. Apparently there's a tumor that can be benign, can be malignant, that can cause symptoms like I have. I don't think that's what's going on, because it really only happens when I'm on Tren. It's happening much more severely on Tren Ace. I have been checking my fasting blood glucose levels every single morning, and every single morning my fasting blood glucose is 84 or 85 for the past 3 mornings in a row. So I think if I had some type of tumor situation, that I would probably have I would have blood sugar crashes. I probably wouldn't have normal fasting blood sugar. But the thing that's still remarkable is 25 milligrams of MK677 and 4 IUs of GH, eating massive quantities of carbs, and my fasting blood glucose is 84 to 85, which is perfectly in the normal range. So I don't know, man. I can't understand it. It's clearly one of the reasons I just do not get fat. I can absolutely eat anything I want to eat and not get fat. One of the only time my blood sugar, eating fatty foods with lots of protein in them and fats, seems to have less of a negative effect on my blood sugar. Or fructose. Drinking 2 liters of Dr. Thunder a day keeps it nice and stable. Fructose seems to have less of a negative effect on my blood glucose spikes than, for example, dextrose. Used to, I could count on dextrose to pull me out, and right now, at best, it's just getting me back to normal. I'm not able to get my blood sugar to go high with dextrose. And I made a video not too long ago where I ate 2 pounds of strawberries that had been covered in like 3/4 of a cup of sugar, and I ate the entire 2 pounds and all of the sugar water that it had produced, and the highest my blood sugar got within 2 hours of ingestion was 145. It spiked to 145 and then dropped back down to sub 120 while I was still eating the sugar covered strawberries. So that's the thing that's so remarkable, is I can be in the other night, when my blood sugar crashed, I was talking about this on Discord, I was eating pizza. I was on my 3rd slice of pizza, and I started shaking, and I went in the bathroom and checked my blood sugar, and it was below 70. I don't remember what it was. So somehow I managed to crash my blood sugar in the middle of eating triple meat pizza. I mean, again, make it make sense, guys. I could just heard Dexter come on in the other room, which means my dinner is ready and it's time for family time. So I'm gonna cut this video short. As always, thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.